What's up, everyone? Welcome to Beyond the Gym Floor. We have very special guest, Adrian Brown, in the house from Grounded Strength. No, it's fine. You don't have to talk. It's okay. Really interesting episode. We talked a little bit about content creation. We talked about being an influencer. I don't know. We talked about heaps of shit. And just like trying to bring things down and focus on what actually works. I think if there's one takeaway from today's episode, it's that. Being able to have a look at your business, have a look at what actions you can take that actually drive your business forwards, and how not to get lost in what is the current landscape of personal training, which overlaps with content, social media, workshops, whatever. Just being able to be like, if I do X, Y, and Z, I will get A, B, and C. So really fun episode. Really grateful for Adrian to step in because I was really struggling. Didn't know who I was going to talk to. We'll get into the point. We missed a whole week. We've never done that. So I thought I was going to have to come in and just do a monologue, which would have been boring for everybody. So don't forget to like, share, follow. Please hit the follow button. That is the most important one. Subscribe on YouTube, obviously. Follow on Spotify. Makes a really big difference to how far our podcast reaches. Also, Grounded Strength, you can find them everywhere. So Instagram, you'll get to Adrian through the Grounded Strength page on there. Also TikTok, also YouTube. Like and subscribe to all their stuff as well for taking the time out to produce a very good episode for you guys. Also, if you head to stcfit.com, all of our stuff is on there. So we talk about Standout PT is on there. Our Value Compass is still on there for free as well. The whole workshop, download it, do it, and a few other bits and pieces. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the episode. Goodbye. What's the verdict?
Of the coffee?
Yeah, we won't tell Jace that you had one.
Yeah. It's nice. I think that just the cube, singular cube ice cubes. Yeah, it's very aesthetic.
It's definitely aesthetic.
Just how the coffee sits over it. Anyway.
Apparently, if you say no, it's very...
It hits my...
It's very offensive to Tam.
It hits my aesthetic part of my brain and I enjoy it. You know those when you see like a bourbon ad on TV?
Big
Like,
cube.
damn.
Yeah.
Or those like really circular ones and it's just pure. Like there's no hazing in it.
Yeah.
It really hits a different
I
part
can't
of my
get mine to do that. I have the
I think
the
it's
whiskey
the water.
balls. But
You get filtered water. I think.
yeah, you'd have to, which I do not.
And probably boil it first.
I think I'm going to do it at my new house.
Yeah. Just
Start filtering the water.
a good idea.
Yeah. I think the the old country water is a bit rough, I think.
Yeah, you'll get...
Searching for moisturiser a lot more than I used to.
like insane chafe everywhere.
Yeah, just like my face feels like it's falling off. There must be a
interesting.
substantial amount of something in that water.
Agent Orange all through it. Growing extra fingers and shit.
Yeah. Something's amiss here.
Yeah.
Something is not good. What's the blend, Tam? Do you know? Is this a Padre or something else? Just supermarket? Yeah.
Doesn't taste supermarket. Tastes super.
What supermarket one do you get?
That's probably
Grinders.
Grinders.
We we have two good coffee shops in town now. So instead of the supermarket, if I run out,
You're well caffeinated.
yeah, it's because we have a fortnightly subscription between three of us.
Nice. Oh, for Padre. Yeah.
So sometimes we run out.
Is that a random subscription or you get the same bean every time?
It's a random one. It's
I didn't.
like a special.
Yeah,
It's hard because sometimes you get one that you really like,
Yeah.
and it runs
But then you
out.
just have to adjust your machine every time because it's like light, dark, or...
I suppose you probably should. My coffee machine actually doesn't even have that much variability on it.
Yeah, okay.
And I've just in the last month got the boys to even just understand that that much water is not a thing. You're just having brown water at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should. I thought my coffee machine broke the other day, and we're moving house and fucking heaps. Expenses are very high right now. I was like, I can't really afford a new coffee machine, but I was low key really excited.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
I go down a disgusting rabbit hole, very heaps, because I make a coffee and I'm like, oh, this was sick. I want it more tactile. I want to be in control of like I'm driving a locomotive or something. And so I look up all these super expensive things, and I'm like, like $6,000.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
like, that's, I have a lot of coffee. It's, it's be good.
I was going to say $900.
No. So the machine I have now, I think it's a modified one of a different model of the one that you have here. And it's amazing.
Mm.
But I'm like, because I come from like photography background, like shooting film and like all these buttons and, changing shit, I'm like, I just want to be able to pretty much just wank over the fact of like how many dials I'm pressing to just produce this coffee that's probably burnt at the end of it.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to at least control temperature, weight.
Yep.
Like just the pressure, just the fundamentals, which I can't on mine.
Yeah.
I've just got like a little Smeg thing.
Yeah, it's amazing how nerdy you can go with it, which is really cool. I think, who was it, James Hoffman on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
He will solve all your
coffee
problems. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
He's just the absolute goat with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I went on a bad rabbit hole with him because we were camping a lot, and I'd take the AeroPress, and he won the AeroPress championships, or he spoke to the world champion. Yeah, there's like championships for making the best coffee.
Wild.
Yeah. And so anyway, he developed this technique with the AeroPress, and honestly, it's game changing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the camp coffees were on a whole new level at that point, which is insane. That's just
awesome.
like amazing. A whole competition dedicated to one variation of making coffee.
Yeah. One of my old clients used to race cars like internationally, and he would always take his own. So I don't know if you've been there or if it's even still there. There's a spot in Mooney Ponds.
I think I go to the same one, the coffee place, yeah?
Yeah,
Opposite Coles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I go. It's amazing.
So he had his own like blend made that he got from them that he would take with him and take his the cafetera with him, and like that was the thing. It's like Dean's coming.
Yep.
You gotta have his coffee. Like, bro, I would see sounds from this shit, but it was so.
What were you with, like what quad shot it or something like that, or is it just the blend?
Probably both.
Do you react different to energy drinks than you do coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I get so anxious on energy drinks. Like
Do you?
I can't have pre-workouts.
I do
and
on
stuff.
V.
Like caffeinated pre's and New Tonic's the only one that didn't give me anything. But like if I have a Red Bull or whatever, it's over because I think it's however my body's interpreting the artificial caffeine as opposed to coffee, and it sends me into an anxious mess.
I get it with V. I don't with Monster.
Interesting.
So I assume it's whatever, like arginine maybe or whatever else they've put in it to kind of balance that. Because in theory, the energy drink should sustain the release slower, more stable with less drop off.
Yeah, because
that's the theory.
Because it's like it's normal caffeine for the kick initial, and then it's the artificial to just keep you going. And I think that's when it sends me. Because initially I'm like, oh, I feel fucking amazing, and then all of a sudden
I think even like all the other amino acids that they add is there to control that.
Yeah, fair.
So it's interesting that they don't work for you.
No, they don't. Like, honestly, I mean, I was obviously sculling New Tonic the whole time I was up in Gold Coast, and I was like, this stuff not come down.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've obviously done to that, but, whether we ever get it in Australia.
I was surprised that you were able to.
Well, James Smith brought a whole fridge.
That's bad.
And I was just like, awesome.
You can come home with me.
As soon as I walked in, it was like this VIP lounge because we paid for the expensive tickets. And I was like, I looked in the fridge and I'm like, oh my God, there's New Tonic in there.
Yeah, it's dope.
And I think I just overheard something, oh yeah, this is all for all the people who bought the tickets. And I'm like, really?
Really? I will have 10. Yeah, I wish it didn't have caffeine in it. I actually, when I first heard about it, thought it didn't.
Non-stimmy.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot. I think it's only 120, right?
It's like not a lot. Bro, it's 2 shots.
Is it?
That's a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, I think when you have it, you'll be pleasantly surprised that you do not feel
it's chill.
that sort of energy. It's very just like whatever I'm doing right now, you just zero it in, which for me, other drinks, I'm just like, I can feel, I can feel my heart rate.
Yeah. I think I heard Chris talk about that our legislation here around a lot of the stuff that's in it is a problem. So they would have to change it, and they don't want to change the recipe so much so that you can't then have it.
Which is weird because you can buy everything in the drink from iHerb.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's all just mixed together makes it bad? I don't know.
Well, technically, I guess some stuff with iHerb gets blocked quite often. A lot of the iHerb orders get it looked at because iHerb's in the UK, I think.
Yeah, but I think they have a factory here because the shipping's insanely fast.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe
this is like back in the day too.
Yeah.
I haven't ordered from there for a while.
I order all my subs from there, and there's never been an issue with anything coming through. And I've literally ordered all the stuff that's in Newtonic.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't. I'm not organised enough.
Yeah.
Like, I want the thing now. I'm not willing to wait 3 days.
Yeah, because you like, and then as well, when you get it, you're like, okay, I'm going to open these pills and pour it into this drink, put some caffeine.
I would never do that.
Well, I go like when I get interested with supplementation, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go all in here. Like when Huberman came out with his sleep stack of magnesium, L-theanine, arginine, or something like that, I was like, fuck, I'm trying this, and amazing. So I've restocked with that. Yeah. Because my sleep at the moment is just terrible, but.
Yeah.
I
hungry boy things.
I go, hungry boy things, and I just go super nerdy with that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever I can get that's going to allow me to focus more with work. I'm like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Or sleep better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's like, do I say that?
I thought you'd be like neurotic like me and be like, okay, this is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, I get all my pills and I.
So my solution to that problem is just like get a pharmaceutical. It's like, where's the modafinil?
Yeah.
That fixes all of my problems.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Until the next day.
It's not as exciting though, because I feel like I'm, like a very old school like alchemist, putting all the shit in there.
Yeah.
And it's going to make a little puff of smoke.
I don't have time for that.
And then my alchemy skill goes up, like in Oblivion.
Yeah. Level up. Your beard grows.
That's it.
Goes slightly lighter each time as well.
Curls.
Look at my new staff.
That's it.
How are you going dieting with like productivity?
Very well. I get all my shit done in the morning. So I'm up at 4 and I have...
Yeah, I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah. So
I got a message from you at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I messaged a lot of people like, 4 o'clock? Because I've got a client over in Canada. She's like, you're up at this time? I'm like, yes. So I've sort of changed the structure a little bit with it, that I get up and the first sort of 20, 30 minutes is just pure nothing, no phone, nothing, just pure writing. So I write out the intentions for the day of what I want to achieve, and then obviously correlate that to the month and year and make sure everything's sort of adding up. So that's my new sort of thing.
Yep.
I got that from Jackson Pios. He calls it the contract. I've called mine the mission log because I'm a bit more of a fucking nerd. And so, yeah, that just dictates what are the non-negotiables for the day and really helps my sporadically stupid brain to feel a bit more organised. Ever since doing this, I've done it consecutively since when I went to Clean Health Gold Coast, so however many days that is. So I've filled out almost 3 books worth of stuff. And it's honestly very scary that everything that I've written in there is happening.
Yeah.
It's not like some bullshit woo-woo like The Secret where it's like, I write down I'm going to get a Ferrari and all of a sudden, the next day there's a Ferrari. It's more, I think, just aligning myself to get the shit done that makes my business grow.
Yep.
And, if whatever time that is for whoever it is, I think having that time of like no distraction with your phone and not thinking, especially as I think as PTs, we're so concerned with looking at other PTs and thinking what they're doing.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of that distraction of looking at them while you're doing your own business, it becomes yours. It's not impacted by whatever other people are doing. So I really have become disciplined with that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I haven't done it for a while. I used to do the Sensor app.
Yep.
So you like log your mood once a week. You do like a review, and then there was like little exercises that you had to do complete during the day. And then once you kind of done the onboarding thing, most of it's just like 5-10 minutes of journaling every day.
Yep.
But I tended to only lean on it when I was stressed. So I guess being proactive with it.
You're not stressed all the time.
Well, yeah, like there's levels, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like sometimes I would do it and be like, oh, you only have mild anxiety this month. Like, fuck yeah. I fucking made it, bro. It's not extreme. That was the only downside of doing it, I think, was like I'm super scared of labels.
Yep.
So I would like, when I would consistently see like, I would get like, moderate was like kind of okay, and then it'd be high and then very high. If I was like high to very high, I'd be like, oh, and try and I don't want to think about that.
I think the only thing I can see with that, which might help you with just writing it from your own brain, is that it's allowing for you to assess it, not an app.
Yeah, well, this is just like your report on your feelings, and then you do your journaling separate.
Oh, right,
So,
okay.
like, I could definitely do that. It's interesting. It came up on the last podcast. Like, I started wearing a cross, and we're having a kid looking into, like, what's going on with school and even just frameworks that we want to look at. Like, I went to Catholic school all the way through, but I wouldn't have called myself religious. Like, I've never, outside of events, gone to church because I want to. But then, like, you look at the impact of what's a grateful log, what's a journal, it's like, it's all prayer. We've been doing it for fucking 4,000 years. It's the same.
Well, that's why there's so many studies on it, which is nuts, and it's all very good.
Yeah, and it's like, it seems to be pretty fucking useful.
Yeah. So the weird thing is the stigma that it has. It's almost the same point of like, yeah, it's just like, oh, you journal. Like, what is it? Dear diary, I'm like prone on my bed, my feet are up, I'm kicking. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe Chad didn't speak to me today. It's like, no, it's not.
Face your asshole at the sun or something.
It's like, it's not like that. It's just like, it's for me, it's a setup of going, where do I want to go with my business? So I write down some fucking ludicrous shit in there that I'm like, this will happen. Yeah. And then I go, okay, to get there, because that's the outcome, what's the process to get there? And then I write down all the process that I need to do on a daily, weekly basis. And it just simplifies your day. You're like, if that is done, there's nothing else you can do. And also what that allows you to have is it frees up time for you to play. Yeah. To fucking just chill out. Like, because especially with me and Liana in a one-bedroom apartment, we've just got the living room where we work and we do fucking everything. So if we were and we are still really bad at this because we need a door to be able to shut off work from life, but you know, sometimes we just catch ourselves staring at our calendar. Yeah. Oh, well, you know, what can I do? It's like, no, you've done everything. Yeah. Go for a fucking walk. Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. So, you know, that side of things has revolutionized my productivity. Yep. You know, you don't have to do it at 4 a.m. like me, but I just wake up because I'm hungry. Yeah. But yeah, so from that is honestly just shifted the whole routine. Things that I used to procrastinate over, I do not anymore. It just gets done. Yeah, it's cool. I think the biggest thing for business owners, I actually posted about this on the weekend, on Monday, and I find this really challenging, right? So I know that there's personal trainers that would look to us and be like, we want to know what you do because you're doing stuff. And I want insight to that. So you want to be like, well, this is all the shit I did today. But I don't want to do it in a way and be like, because I'm better than you. But I also just be like, that's actually, because I had a really cool conversation with a PT a couple of weeks ago. It was a Thursday afternoon call, and I was like, this is what I've done today. He went white. And I was like, so you can coach people and just do that. And that's okay. And he was like, oh. And I'm like, stop trying to... Just the questions he was asking in the mentoring calls were sort of half business mentoring, half like life sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, I just want to like do a lot of the stuff that you're doing. I'm like, do you? Because like, this is what it looks like. And he was like, actually, fuck that. So when it comes to content, it's like, I want to show the other side of this is actually what goes into a day, especially when it's busy, especially when it's chaotic. And then also like Monday, I walked into my office and I was just like, no, where do I even fucking start? Yep. Like, it's going to take me an hour just to comprehend the to-do list, to get it on paper, to then organize it, to then start, which is ultimately what I had to do. It's the only way for me to get past it. But I want to show that too and be like, I walked into my office on Monday, like, feeling sick. Like, how am I going to do this week? And then after 2 hours, I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I think, like, this journaling thing is, like, you're on top of that every day. Yep. And it's just like, if I just do this, I'm fine. If I just do this, I'm fine. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, because I was in the Hormozy camp for a bit, just like, fucking wake up and work. I was like, okay, that works for some people, but I can't just do that. It's like a blank piece of paper, right? What do you start with? I think it works if you know what you're to do. Exactly, yeah. But, you know, sometimes you just get lost in doing stuff that isn't essential for your business. Yeah. Which is the most common thing. But if you write down your intentions for every day and you go, okay, well, these are the set essentials that have done X to my business, grown it by this much from the data that I've fed into whatever it is you're tracking, you go, oh, well, all I need to do this until I find a limit.
Yeah.
and then adjust.
Yeah.
Which I haven't found yet. I haven't found that limit, and I write that in my journal as well. It's like my limit still hasn't found as far as client load yet.
Yep.
With my training and whatever else. So it's like there is still room there that I still feel like it's good essential time to push for.
Yeah.
Which, for me, it's, the last time that I found my limit was I was doing 50 sessions a week, and I had a panic attack on the bathroom floor and froze like a goat. You know when they scare goats? It's like that. Yeah. So that's happened.
Found it.
Yeah. So that happened. That's only happened twice.
Yeah.
And the first time was I was a massage therapist, and the same thing it happened. I was like, I don't know how much money am I fucking making, or who's coming in today, and I'm running 2 other jobs on the side just to try and make this work, and it happened in a car park just fucking randomly.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, there's 2 points there, and the feedback I got from both of them is I didn't know what was happening in my business.
Yeah. And that's where the anxiety comes from.
Yeah, but then I've got the journal now, and I know exactly what's happening, and I know exactly what stuff has helped me get to that point. There's no anxiety anymore. Of course, there's anxiety. I just had a coffee. I'm anxious. So it's like, and you and Jason have obviously, taught me all of this as well. Is like the more, and we just literally spoke about it in the other podcast, is like the more data you can feed into it, the less anxious you are.
Yeah.
But also you've got to make sure that data is conducive to you getting a result, either A, getting paid more clients, better content, whatever
Impact,
it is.
whatever, yeah.
Because if your data is like, oh, I want this PT to like my posts or other fucking bullshit metrics that mean nothing, well, there's where stress will happen.
Yeah. It's interesting. I used to have probably quarterly, maybe when it was real busy, maybe monthly. Just like, and I didn't even think it was a weird thing at the time. So I had days I physically couldn't get out of bed. And I'd barely eat. I'm like a stressed don't eat. And then like over the day to just slowly, I'd open up like my goals, or I used to watch, this is fucking really lame. I used to watch Get Rich or Die Trying all the time. Yeah. When I had those days, just like, I'm just watch 50 be a fucking badass.
Yeah, sick.
And I'm like, I'm a badass too. It'll be fun.
I'm in the hood.
Yeah. So you're selling personal training, not dope, bro.
Yeah.
You're okay. And then, I'd eat a bucket of chicken and then wake up and be fine the next day. And like go again. Obviously didn't really have the presence of mind at the time to be like, hey, this is bad for you. We ended up making business choices because that was a consistent thing. But most people I think are they're so scared of that happening that they never get to the point where it does.
Yep.
And it's actually, and maybe people are going to come at me for saying this, I'm like, it's actually okay.
Yep.
Nothing bad happened.
Absolutely. When PTs ask me, that same question, I go, well, just find the limit.
Yeah.
Maybe you can comfortably do 40 people a week. I can't.
Yeah.
I find I want to do a service that I believe is world class, and I cannot do that with
that many people. Yeah.
I think there's some number that you can really like. Dunbar's number I think is 150, but then there's another number
close
that's
relationship one,
80 or something. So it's like, okay, well, if you're flirting
Friends,
with that,
family. Yeah.
And then you've got, like you said, other relationships. You're like, well, okay. And then those people are just going to fall to the wayside as well. Yeah. So, that's all really now. And I write that in my journal. I go, okay, well, the limit will be here. That's it. It's cut off. And then you go, okay, well, from that point, I raise my prices and the journey continues again. Yeah. But I'm not going to get to that point of thinking that I need to do more. Because then it just impacts me everywhere. I'm going to be a shit fucking... I can pretty much say husband to Liana, a bad dog dad, all these other things, because I'll just be so locked in, and it's taken me, I think, since working with you guys to realize that it's, it's not this goal of like, how much more can you fucking squeeze out of that thing, but just making sure that, you're still squeezing it. You want to get obviously massive results and success, but it's like, make sure that you're squeezing that into a very targeted audience, not just all over a fucking table. Yeah, and I think Jason and I obviously have discussions quite a bit, and there's like a group of grads from Standout that are like incredibly successful in our eyes based on the time, and you're in that group of like, thank you,
how long you've been in the industry for and what you're able to do. Yeah, like it's insane for us to even be like, how? Like, we didn't even know. We knew Good Life Point Cook. and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, Charles is coming to Melbourne. And like, fucking BPAC's going to be here. And oh, wow. It was like, we didn't have access to people like that then. It was like 5 people on YouTube.
T-Nation.
And fucking 4 people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Unless you were in forums. And then it was like, that was it. And the forums that was like bodybuilding. It wasn't how to be a good personal trainer. It wasn't business. It wasn't none of that shit. Personal trainers didn't have social media. It wasn't even a thing. So looking at it now, sometimes we're like, fuck, the boys just need to just look at that thing and just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
But we also didn't, we were so impatient at the time. Like, we should be doing better. We should be here. We should be this. And we still have that feeling. And we always used to talk about, like, this is the critical mass year. It's coming. This is the critical mass time. We still haven't had it, but we kind of are, but it's not in the way that we thought.
Yeah, I think you just flirt with it the whole time.
Yeah.
Because like that goalpost just keeps moving, right?
We thought critical mass was like, we're going to all overnight have 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, critical mass is we have 4 gym partnerships.
Yeah. Which is
not
better.
public.
Yeah.
But it's still really cool.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's more of a flex than fucking imaginary people on the internet.
Yeah. Yes and no. I'd still like to have the other one too, in terms of just like monetization. But I think we were super impatient with that, so we did everything. We overcomplicated everything. We did anyone that was here. We went any podcast. Like, we used to be able to mimic Phil Loney, like ridiculous. When I met Ben, I was like, bro, I've spent like 100 hours with you, and you don't even know who I am. This is weird. Whereas you guys now, it's like you're seeing 100 people that are as big as those guys were.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
And
I don't follow any of them though.
The pressure of the social media and all of that to be like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Back then it was just like, I did more sessions than everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
I did more sessions, I did more courses, I know more.
Yeah.
So.
And my clients get better results. And it's like, you walk in, so mornings, be like 9 times out of 10, Jace would be the only one that beat me to the gym, but I'd always leave last.
Yep.
And that was like my thing.
It's the flex.
It's like, all right, this is it. Is the fucking car park it over here. Whereas now, it's like, oh, well, that person's got 50,000 followers. That person's got 500,000 followers. That person's got 5,000 when you're starting out. It's like, oh, man, I'm nothing. So even if you are the biggest fish in your small pond that we talked about on the other pod, like you're number 1 in your gym, you're still like, I'm not good enough.
Yep.
So it's so easy. I think listening to what you've described and seeing even the turnaround in the last, 8 weeks with your business, being able to just be like, no, this is the thing that actually, for lack of a better term, like puts bread on the table.
Yep.
This is what brings in clients. This is what gets results. This is what delivers, rather than what's everyone else doing that I need to be doing.
I couldn't give a fuck what other people are doing, and I don't follow a lot of other PTs. I follow people who produce and give value, who I believe that, I can just copy their content and rebrand it. So, I said it. That's what everyone's fucking doing. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
So, that clears up a lot of that issue as well. I'm not glued to my phone wondering what Joe Blow PT is doing.
I said to the guys the other day, I don't know, maybe you're the same. They hadn't experienced it. We were talking about like the lack of interactions on Instagram, how engagement had gone down. And I was like, I don't look at my feed ever.
No.
I go straight to Explore.
Yep.
Or Reels.
Yep.
Because it's like, that's curated to the shit I want to see.
Yep.
I don't want to see another fucking personal trainer.
No.
Over it.
There's 2 things I look at when I go on social media. I go, is my reach going up? Yes, tick. And then pretty much just like, is there anyone that in my area right now that I could probably DM? And that's really it.
Yeah. So this is more like just using social media as social media.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just doom scrolling for whatever reason.
Yep. Lemonade legs on the toilet.
You got it. If you got a reel from me, you know where I am.
The circles.
My dad says that all the time. He's like, I know when you send me stuff that you're on the toilet, it really fucking
juice.
makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
But yeah, like and I feel bad about it. Like now, I don't know, I've noticed that the Explore page is starting to feed me people I interact with a lot more in the Explore.
Interesting.
And I'll open something and it'll be like Jess or Mads or someone I talk to every day. And it's like, this was posted 4 weeks ago. And I'm like, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not over there. It's really interesting. And then on the flip side of that, it's like I got to the point where things had sort of settled at home. And I was like, all right, for Amy not to go back, I have to open probably 10 coaching spots. So content has to be top priority. I have to get that moving. But what we had on the plate at the time was like, I wasn't going to start cutting and fucking editing reels and spending 3 hours a week making high quality content. I was like, what can I do easily for me that's still valuable, that still talks to a client, that still does the thing? Like, I can write a blog in 30 minutes.
And show your training. That's the biggest one.
Also, for me personally, it was like, I can write a blog.
Yeah.
I can write something that's educational, that's somewhat entertaining, that's written in a way that people will like.
Yep.
And then I can take that and turn it into 4 other pieces of content.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to start with that, and then I'll just build on it.
Did you set like how many days you were going to do it?
Yeah, so I used our campaign thing. So I was like, blog day 1, then I have a reel come out on the same topic, a carousel on the same topic, and then I try and post like a life insight once a week, and I post a client once a week.
Yeah.
Because I have to post the client because we collab with Fit with that one.
Yep.
So in doing that, I put on 12 clients in 5 weeks.
Yeah, we've both, me and Liana are posting minimum 6 times following that same sort of model, and it's been a client a week.
Yeah. And I'm like, but all these trainers are like, oh, but I've got to make the best looking reel. I've got to make every post has got to be different. And I'm just like, man, my blog announcement posts, if I brought mine up from yesterday, it'd be less than 10 likes.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because, like, look, I was in a very, very great position for this to be a bit of a combination of all my skills.
You're good at media, right?
Yeah, but I didn't start good at media. You know what made me good at media? Fucking COVID.
Yeah.
So I did so many short courses on photography and videography all through that because I was like, oh, after this shit, I'm going to be a professional photographer. Yep. And, I ended up getting a professional gig with Grilled and doing an actual shoot. And I was like, I actually don't like this. So, I paid money to get those skills. Yeah. I did all these different courses on adventure photography, on how to use a camera, how to edit software. I would suggest for, like, if you're wanting to make high quality content, like, just buy a short course. Like, how do I shoot better video on an iPhone? Yeah. There's probably 6 billion courses that you can pay $60 for and learn. When I started content, I've been filming it for quite some time with mountain biking and video games back in the day. I was on a fucking GoPro 3 and my phone. That's how I started. I did my phone up until, when did I get my camera? Like 3 years ago? Yeah. So it's like, don't think that because people are shooting, this is obviously all filmed on amazing cameras, but it doesn't have to be. Me and Liana started our podcast by having 2 Rode mics and no sound. But the thing is, we just got started. So it's like, whatever you think that you need to do, lower the bar of entry so you can just start. And
that I guess is the point that I want to get across. And I understand that I have a long time in the industry and a lot of exposure and a lot of acquaintances and somewhat of like result bank and reputation, whatever. And I came back to posting content that would have got a little bit of a role because I was still kind of around. If I gave my content strategy to 100 personal trainers, 99 of them would say, that won't work. Because it's not fancy enough. And like you said, it's like, we'll bring the bar down. I hate fucking editing. I hate it. I could go learn it 100%, but I just don't really like doing it. We have enough content in terms of imagery and stuff that Tam's amazing at that I can leverage it. And then we got forward moves to make us some designs that I can plug into. Yeah. So like you said, it's like, come in at an entry level that you're comfortable with, not at what does James Smith do.
Yeah, exactly. Like how many days can you emotionally, like, turn off emotion to post for, do your training, do a fucking quote post, whatever the fuck, and talk about something else. Like 3, I think, is like, I would say bare minimum. That's what I ran for ages until I felt like I could, up the ante with a little bit and just got faster at content, which like you would scroll down my feed and it's hilarious. Like, I'm just waffling on. Yeah. Now I can get all that information in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's only come because I was like... Practice, exactly. Yeah. But also, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
If your client messages you and go, oh, this was really handy.
You won. Yeah. Yeah, my favorite ones I get is like, I feel attacked. Marcus nailed it.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
even when the pod clips come out,
yeah,
I'll have a client on there like...
Clients reshare it, you're like, oh, cool, it's valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I had, there was a few people just added me and I messaged them, oh, what brought you here? And it's like, oh, my coach told me to follow you because you have good information. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's like, power to you because I think it's all retarded.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake people make with content now is they make it for the internet, not for their clients. And I think most people, if they just made content for their clients, they would win way more.
I agree. I think, what put it in perspective is obviously meeting James Smith, and he's just a dude. First and foremost, he's just a guy. Yeah. And just chatting to him, like absolutely just talking shit, it makes me realize that, he's just sort of kept doing it. Mm. That's the thing. Like, he always, in all of his speeches, he shows his first video, which is like the Snickers or the popcorn or whatever the fuck it is. And you're like, oh, I've made that video. Everyone has.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it will turn into this well choreographed thing.
Yeah.
You have a camera and you might have a TAM and whatever else. But the barrier to entry for everyone is they're so scared of the fucking mob coming after them.
Yeah.
Of all these PTs going, no, you said latissimus dorsi and it's really trapeze. Like,
yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah.
And, I fell into that trap as well. And it took me a while to realize that no one's coming to sort of tell me off. And if they do, they just got no icon and they've just rebranded some crap that they've listened to on a podcast.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't impact anything that you're doing. And to be honest, if you are getting a little bit of hate, well, you're like, okay, cool, it's actually working.
It's working, yeah. Yeah, we've actually had those conversations. Like, fuck, we haven't had any negative comments.
Yeah. Yeah. When I get them, I'm just like, I like it. And I just go, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Because, they've obviously put their time into the waste their
review.
Yeah, waste their life. And I'm like, I will thank them for their time.
Yeah.
So yeah, all I can say is for PTs and is you have a $1,000 camera on your phone.
Yeah.
You can buy $20 audio from Amazon.
Yeah.
There's some great mics on there.
I just got a new set for like $85. It's awesome.
And don't start obviously, use scripts. Like Liana, she uses scripts.
Mm.
Fantastic. So you get your points across.
Yep.
Boop, done.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. And that's, now it's this, I can just think of stuff to do. Like I don't have to, as long as I know the hook, then the video films itself. Don't try and be that at the start. Like put yourself in the position of like, okay, I need all these points here. This is what I'm answering. This is the problem I'm solving. Done.
Yeah.
In whatever form that is. If you don't feel comfortable talking to the camera yet, record yourself or do text over you training.
Yeah.
And then, slowly start to push your limit like with training, right? You train closer and closer to failure. Same with social media. Maybe once a month I'll do one in front of the camera.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Or start on stories.
Yep.
That's what we did. I was having a look at our content and it actually, we've been advised to be shorter now. But it was 3 1-minute stories, 4 1-minute stories a week.
Yep.
Just speaking and trying to get a point across. Back then we had to do 15 minutes. It wouldn't record. 15 seconds. It wouldn't record. So you had to be like...
It's like the end of those government ads.
Yeah. So like, I think even that taught us to articulate better.
Yep.
And just show up better. Because reels weren't a thing then. No. You just posted pictures and then you spoke on your reels. On your stories. And then it was like, well, the stories were really effective, so let's just...
Yep.
TikTok happened, and then it was like, oh, we just do that over here. So, yeah, I think... my takeaway is I haven't spoken at a camera since relaunching my coaching. I understand that you're going to go, well, you got so much industry experience, blah, blah. Like, I get it. But I haven't done a spoken reel for the entire time that I've relaunched coaching.
Yep.
And I'm up 12 clients.
Yep.
Like...
That's just the value that you push forward, really.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how that's sort of shown, I think.
Understanding the person you're trying to speak to and just trying to help them, and that's it.
And also on that, like if you're looking for the clues, say what Ben said was whatever his client's problem was. That's all the content. So everyone's client whinges about something in their session.
Yeah.
That's your video for the day.
100%.
And you go, I solved X person's problem. She loved it. She reshared it. She goes, oh, my PT solved this.
Yeah.
There. So, there's the little clues that you can always do that, like, use your clients. Like, if you want more of that client, speak to them and find their problem and address that with your content until you attract more of the people you do, which is all I've done. And I can say that I'm coaching. Everyone is someone that I want to be coaching.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking
ideal.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I've really changed my opinion on that too. I've changed what that means in my head.
Yeah.
So even in our marketing, we've always been like, work with people you want to work with. And I think perhaps because we're quite fortunate, Jason and I, that we work with also a lot of people that are the result that we like to work with as well. Before that, my first achievement was working with people that I wanted to work with.
Yeah.
Based on personality, values, effort they would bring, those types of things. It wasn't like I want 30 robots that check in perfectly every single week and track the macros and do it. Like I still don't have that.
Yeah.
Maybe half my book is that.
Yeah, I don't even have that either.
So it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it's people I get along with. And this is something I posted on Learn during the week is like the number one way to make less money as a personal trainer is to try and be something you're not to try and make more money.
Yeah, I like that.
So I had a call during the week and we've been working with someone for 3 months actively, maybe 4 all up, and just looking at the data and comparative to another business that's literally the same and just being like, this doesn't add up. Why is it working perfectly here and not perfectly there? And all the metrics suggest it should work. The engagement's good, the page is growing, the link in bio clicks are huge. Everything's like, this should be fucking flying. What is going on? Obviously that data, like you said, writing down and looking at the data that actually matters, not how many of my friends liked it or PTs or whatever. It's like, it's not, this bit's broken. Why? And then we had like other friction and things were hard and it was like pulling teeth to kind of get the job done and everything was back and forth. It was a little bit rough and we're just like, fuck, this isn't really doing it. 90-minute conversation later, it's like, do you actually want to train any of these people? Because it sounds like you fucking hate them. And he was like, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, let's fucking stop talking to them then.
Yeah.
Let's build you a book full of people that want to talk about the footy and the cricket and like being around the footy club and they're fucking members and work the canteen and like they're those, everyone pictures a personality type in that space. The way you talk, the language you use, the probably lack of political correctness and all of that that's like part of that culture. Let's just put that in your gym.
Yeah.
Because at the moment you have some of that and then you have Jenny come in and see 18 footballers and be like, I want to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with that now. It's, I want a small stable of, I want to create a grounded strength powerlifting team, and it's very exclusive and you almost have to try out to get into it because I don't want millions of powerlifters. I don't want millions of, eventually when I stack enough proof, bodybuilders. I wanted a small crew of people that I 100% get on with and know that I can push in a direction there. That's the niche sorted.
Yep.
The rest is, they're all the same people that I want to hang out with. But fuck, I don't want everyone to be bodybuilders. That's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather, have people who just want to put in change and make a huge amount of effort. Like that's my main thing is I really push effort.
Yep.
In a lot of my, in my stories, and that's what I want to get out of people. Is the fact is that this stuff takes effort. It takes a long time. It's understanding that it doesn't happen overnight. There's struggle involved. Struggle is important for you to grow. Like that's the main outcome that you get from the gym. Like I don't want to be so niched out that it's just I'm doing the same thing over again. Because like you put it in the realm of like being a specialist with surgery. Yes, you're getting paid squillions.
Yep.
But I don't really care about having to do surgery on this part of my wrist day in, day out. I would go insane.
Yeah.
But maybe the money would change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah. So in this situation, it was like This coach is like born and bred sport, loves it. The idea of making an athlete perform better. It's like he's at the moment working exceptional hours, ridiculous, just to try and keep his head above water. And is willing to go from his football game to his client's football game straight afterwards and show up on the Sunday. And I'm like, bro, that makes... If you have that over here, you don't have to work anymore. Because you love every second of it. It's not work. Because you like having a conversation. You like everyone that comes in the door. You like all of that. And it doesn't have to be making someone's stop, pivot, acceleration better. Might be that.
Yep.
But what if you just hung out with people that are in that environment?
Enjoyed football.
That just like it. Like we're rebuilding everything at the moment, like Value Compass and campaigns and all that kind of stuff. And I got a mate from home who's like my age, fucking gets injured every year, but just like keeps showing up. He just fucking loves it. Loves being around the boys. Loves a beer on a Saturday night. Like we'll watch probably every game of AFL over the weekend, and then we'll watch the World Cup cricket, and then we'll watch the fucking basketball, baseball, whatever. If it's sport, I'm in. So now it's just like, well, how do we make a product for him?
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily want to do cone drills to be better at this thing. But if it feels like footy training in the gym and he's getting, like we talked about in the other pod, like getting the slap on the ass at the end instead of the fist bump that the powerlifters do, and this feels like home to me, man, he's going to have a fucking great time.
Yeah.
He's going to pay you all of his money to stay in that room.
Absolutely.
Because he can also do it in a safe environment, not get hurt.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it's like, okay, if we build this, people will come to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's you. And if you just be you will attract people that are similar. But the second you step back and be like, I have to run a fat loss program because fat loss program's how you make profit, and you hate training fat loss people, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I ran into that as well. Like, I just do not speak about nutrition because I find it incredibly boring. And I think if you don't know what to eat, then it's confusing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're still not grown out of your mum cooking for you or whatever, that's my logic with it. It's a bit harsh, but ultimately it's like, if you don't know what to eat as a 30-year-old person, it's I don't have any sympathy.
It's not your skill set.
No, but it's not my skill set. You know, Liana, she's a bit more nice with the nutrition side of things, so I let her do it. But yeah, you know, I focus a lot on, like I said, just the effort training takes, the mentality it takes, you know, showing myself training hard, you know, all of these things to show this is what builds my body and has built the athletes the clients that I coach at any level. Yeah. I don't tell them that this happens overnight. You're not going to be screaming and yelling and carrying on like I do in my training. Like, that is a very, very specific skill, and it takes a long time, and it doesn't look like that for everyone. But if I can get you into the gym and show you the amount of effort that you can actually put into something, it's like you're going to hang around, because it's like afterwards you're like, wow, I have never done that before. I never thought that was possible. And, you know, and that's the level of client I have now. Like, all of them are like that, which is really, really fun. You know, whether they want to compete, whatever, I don't really give a fuck.
Who cares?
You know,
I'm the same.
For me, I always go, you know, the program is your competition.
Sometimes I'm like, fuck, another one.
You know, I always say the program is your competition. You're competing every day.
Yeah.
That's what the metric should be. So if you treat it as though it is a competitive sport, and you look at your program when you get into the gym and you go, oh, I did X reps on this, or wait, I need to beat that. Well, there's your progressive overload and everything else. And you know, and that's how now I'm selling my product, and, you know, I'm attracting it seems to be a printing press for the same person. Yeah. You know, they set an incredibly high standard for themselves, and, you know, they resonate with all the stuff that seems to be coming out right now, which is, you know, it's taken me, what is it? How long have I did STC for? 2 years?
Yeah, something like that.
To work that out.
Yeah.
So again, but that just started, like, to reverse back from just starting with my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other point I want to re-highlight is you stepping into the metrics that matter. And we obviously just dove straight into, like, content, because that's where you're at, trying to get online, all that kind of stuff. There's a part of it of, like, we've spoken about on the podcast before, you're not above anything. And And when you start to look at metrics of like, well, what worked?
Yep.
So for us, we had the conversation about like DMs.
Yep.
It's like, fuck, I actually have to speak to people. They're not just, you don't get to a point where it's like,
hello,
come to me.
Yeah.
Like
standing in front of my audience.
And people do, but very few of them. It's
Yep.
a very low percentage. So it's like, okay, so outreach is the thing. And I probably have to accept that outreach is going to be part of the job that I don't love. I can find a way to make it fun, but it's probably not the most exciting part of my day.
Yeah, and also don't be afraid of like, if you're full, like just
Have a conversation with people.
Yeah, but just like also stop outreach for a bit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, close your books. Like while I'm doing that, like end of the week, I'm closing my books.
Yeah.
For me to do that has been a massive relief of anxiety, of constantly thinking that I need to get new clients. Now, if obviously people come to me, of course, but I'm not going to go out of my way now because I've got a great team and I want to make sure that first of all, what matters most to me is results.
Yeah.
For that group of people, because then that's going to attract, they're going to go, fuck, I got these results. So it's like, it's more conducive in my opinion to go, okay, what's my client limit? Whether you're there or not, just close books for a bit, fucking make some results, and then open them up. So that's what, I'm doing now, which is pretty cool.
So if you're a face-to-face coach, and you're not necessarily driving online and that's not important, the most typical ones like this, just stop making calls.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I'm not getting... Again, it's not, I don't just stand at reception and be like,
hello.
And people come up and sign up for personal training. So it's the same thing. It's like people get to the point where like, I'm above this. Or whether they consciously think it or not, but you can see it in the behavior. It's like, I don't have to do that anymore.
It's funny how we both of us would probably spend fuck tons of money on going and seeing business people just for them to tell us that.
Yeah.
They go, how I made my millions was I did heaps of cold calls.
Yeah. I was really good at selling.
Got used to hearing no more than yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, over 10 years, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
So, and then we're at this point, we're like, I don't want to make fucking calls.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what's going to get you the thing more than anything that you do. Like just like, maybe you're going viral on the internet might, but ultimately you're still going to have to find a system that you can still keep attracting people because, being viral doesn't last very long.
And I like the idea of the journaling thing and the presence of mind, even if you fucking did it weekly, man. Like, sitting down and looking at your business metrics, then going, what do I actually need to do to get the outcomes that I want?
Yep.
And then stop fucking with everything else.
Yep.
Like, stop worrying about, because I guarantee you'll never look at your metrics and find a stat that says you need a new logo.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, or you need to change your fucking business name or something like that people will spend. I had a trainer, I reckon it was like a month. I'm like, hey, have you started? What's going on? Oh, I'm just like really stuck on a name.
Yeah, cool.
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what does STC stand for? Like, I don't know. Like, exactly. Who fucking cares? Like, call it Jimbos. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You can get really hooked up on that, which we sort of did with the websites and all that sort of stuff. And we realized that I think our traffic is like 2 people through the website and all of it's just from outreach. So it's like, okay, well, now all I do is write my mission log at the start of the day is like, okay, well, I will send 5 DMs every day and I'll post 6 times a week. Like, those are the 2 things that have made business go, nothing else needs to get in the way. And
I think the other stuff matters.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like the authority and all of that still is a thing. Like having a good website and having good branding and just good media and stuff still gives off a certain amount of authority.
Yeah.
But I had a full book with none of it.
Yeah. Because you were consistent.
Because it was like, if I need a client, I'll make a phone call.
Yeah.
And because Jace was, if I need a client, I'll talk to someone on the gym floor. Like we had all that before this, when we were recording the podcast on a phone, when it was all shit, when like all of our content still had my spelling mistakes in them. Like it didn't matter.
No.
We're still able to be full. So people are working top down instead of bottom up. It's like, cool. So you've gone and found, from the strategies you just mentioned, whether it's calls, DMs, whatever, you've gone and found 35 people that want to work with you. Amazing. Now you've got budget and you've got time and you've got emotional space to be like, all right, let's build a website.
Yep.
And then that'll add credibility, authority, and maybe it means you can put your prices up $10.
Yeah. I think, like you said, that people start reverse. Like I see it all the time with content is someone hasn't filmed or done anything the whole time they're on social media. But then all of a sudden they've booked this extravagant shoot, this one-off shoot, professional videographer. It's a whole thing. It's a whole workout thing. What happened afterwards? Where's the follow-up?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing. So if you just bring the bar down and go, okay, if I film consistent stuff with my phone, and then every so often I have that, and then probably from the consistency stuff you put on more clients to actually pay for that thing, because I see it so often is that they've just gone, oh, I need to have a professional looking social thing. No one probably even watched it.
I'm curious, for a consumer, are we on the opposite end of that? Like, obviously, Hormozy's come out and said, like, I'm not doing polished content anymore. I feel like
the pendulum goes. We'll start swinging back.
Yeah,
look at Sam Sulek. Look at all that content now, where it's just like essentially he's talking about his feelings in a car while he's super jacked, and then a lot of C-bums followed suit. Like he's obviously still got nice cameras and an aesthetic look, but he's just. The sound quality is almost worse now, and so I think like anything, the pendulum will swing back again, and we'll get some outrageous sort of stuff with AI and stuff. But I find it difficult to watch with Chris Williamson's podcast. I find it too extravagant.
Yeah, we did those like studio ones.
Yeah, like he did that one on that fucking
the wall and shit.
Yeah, I was like,
I enjoyed the documentary more than the podcast.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not even looking at that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a point where it can go too far. But I think anything's going to be good if the value's there.
Yeah.
And if you're speaking to the person that you want to work with.
Yeah. And
doesn't
I think
matter how extravagant it is.
I know I like fanboy him a lot, but there's no disputing that he's number one right now in our industry with James Smith's content. I remember watching him in his apartment at his kitchen table on a laptop with fucking corded iPhone, random live Q&As. For fucking years, man. It's like, open up your Facebook in the morning, James is live.
Yep.
Just fucking day after day after day after day. Wasn't polished, audio sucked, internet was shit, it was blurry. Fucking, the guy could have at least wiped his camera. Like,
yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, I think part of it is lockdown. Like what you said in terms of just like, I went and bought everything, learned everything. Everyone was thrust into this content creation portal that we had to do it, and Reels came out at the same time, and it was like, Instagram was like, oh no, TikTok is going to bury us. So we have to become a video platform tomorrow. So all your pictures, not showing them to anyone. It's not getting any traction. It's Reels.
It's weird that it didn't happen earlier with Vine. You remember Vines? Like that was that blew up really rapid. I mean, that's where Jake Paul and all those guys came from.
At least for me, maybe I was older. Vine was something you watched on Facebook.
Yeah.
I didn't have Vine.
Compilations.
I watched Vine through Facebook. So I knew it was a thing. Maybe it was big in the States, but I think so. Here it was just like they were on Facebook.
Yeah.
So like that meant everyone had to get the same captions app. Everyone got CapCut. Everyone got all the same fucking shit. All the bog stock B-roll. Horrible. And then obviously all these... everyone came in as video editors. I'll edit your video like Alex Hormozy if you pay me $5. So then everyone started doing that. It's just like everyone's shit looked the same. And the consumer just got to the point where it's like... I was saying, like, I go straight to explore. It's like, I've seen this video 8 times today. 8 different people have used the exact same sequence to create this and basically said the same thing because they think that's what they need to say. And every now and then, I'll be like, fuck, that was made for a client, and it hits me. I'm not even the client. And I'm like, that's fucking good.
Yeah, you can tell.
So I think what we're seeing now is a shift back market-wise. All the personal trainers that were fringe online have realized that online's hard and are back face-to-face, all left. And the consumer, again, is now prioritizing face-to-face instead of online. So that's working. So we're seeing less people put out as much content because you don't have to as much anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Which that brings it back to just being, you don't have to have this overproduction to stand out anymore.
No.
You just have to make a valid point.
Yeah, and I think as always, like having a mixed business, like face to face and online, you're going to be in great position to do both.
Yeah.
And you know, like,
do you know what? I reckon if we packed up Learn, I'd go coach face to face.
I thought you said you wouldn't do it.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say, you told me one time, you're like, oh, I don't think I could go back face to face.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think being in a face-to-face environment gives you so much leverage to be successful online.
Yeah, I agree.
That you can't create without it.
Yeah.
So I have great clients that share their training a lot. And it's really, really useful when you're a 34-year-old male that trains 28-year-old females.
Yep.
Because I can't just post myself.
No.
Because the girls aren't going to buy me training chest.
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate in that way, but I know when I had 8 of them in the gym and I could film, Ali's doing this today, Kate's doing this today, fucking someone else is doing this today, and we're doing this because of this, and this. Like you said, in terms of your clients complain or whatever, it's like you have an idea walking in the session, all you have to do is talk about it.
Yep.
And you've got, it's like, hey, can I film this set? Or I'm going to film this set for your tech.
Yep.
And I'm like, can I post that?
Yep.
Like, yeah, sweet, of course. And then you talk, it's like,
you know, you've got
so much leverage, man.
X amount of content for, you know, an hour's work, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having the mix of both is awesome.
I think so many people think I've got to go away and create content.
Or it just has to be like organic. Like it has to just come from nothing. Like it has to, But, you know,
I need to sit down with my empty piece of paper on my laptop.
But, you know, just like find a content person that you like. Like obviously, I like James Smith and the way that he talks and stuff. And, you know, he'll say this as well. He goes, just copy it in your own way. You know, pick the topic and work out how he went about it and spoke about it. And does this resonate with the client that you want to, you know, attract? And then just talk about it in your own way, whether that's, you know, obviously you talking in front of the camera or writing it down or whatever else. I think everyone's so scared of like copying stuff, but I don't think there's really anything that's original anymore. Yeah. Which is, you know, evident in movies being shit all the time.
Bro, what's the go with that?
I don't know. I saw the new Planet of the Apes and I was like, this is mid.
I just saw they're doing Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a new movie.
Well, they got Twisters now.
Like... the fuck, man?
Yeah, I know. I only go to the movies now for like Christopher Nolan stuff because that's like actually new. You know, most of the time I'm like looking back at, okay, what are the movies I grew up with, and I just watch that on repeat. Yeah,
instead of watching the fake copy of the new one,
which is you know, I think you can look at that with content. If it's not, you know, original, it's like you can tell. Like, you know, I was just like, oh, it's not. Yeah, something off about it.
Yeah, that's all. Like personally, I'm not on board with the copy thing because I think, as we spoke about, I think you have to be an intermediate content creator to do it well.
Yep.
So you have to be able to see something and be like, I see what they did.
And change the
I'm going to take that concept and I'm going to go apply it over here.
Yep.
When you're a beginner, it's like, this is what they did, so if I do that, it's like, and you're missing the magic of what it was.
Yeah.
It's like James had a conversation or has had 800 conversations or 8,000 conversations about calorie deficits or volume distribution or whatever. And he's explained the Smarties thing, the YouTube video that he did, 1,000 times and he just recorded it. Now, if you go and do the Smarties thing,
of course,
maybe you explain it differently to your clients.
Skittles.
Yeah. Whereas if you are just present with your clients, and I think where the copy elements like look,
I think you can copy like just the way that he, you know,
it's how
he does it,
not what.
Yeah.
And I think when you're newer to content, you miss it.
Yep.
Like, I even watch, like, the golf videos, and I can, like, see when the cuts are and what they move away from, and I'm like, this motherfucker's just trying to get me to watch longer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah, he's got me. Yeah, because like, that's all I watch, like, with all the, bodybuilding vlogs and all that stuff. All I'm watching it for is to really get more idea of, like, how to film exercises. I couldn't, like, because, you look at, say, someone like Seabum, and he's only relevant because Calvin, this videographer, made him relevant.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is driven from that, which is nuts if you think about it. Not to say that probably wouldn't have ever existed.
Yeah.
But the way that they've produced him into the, the man that he is, all from how he was literally framed up and videoed and whatever else, which is kind of fucking nuts.
This is the dad example. Ready? So we're like really trying to not do screen time, right?
Yeah, okay.
So it's like not fucks with their brains and stuff.
Yeah.
Something like for every hour they watch, it's like 7 words less they learn.
Really?
Like development. It's wild.
That's hectic.
Yeah, first 2 years pretty much. Yeah, bro. But fuck, man, when you need some YouTube, you need some fucking YouTube. Like just for a minute, kid.
Yeah.
So I was watching. So there's this like super famous YouTuber called Miss Rachel. And, like, if there's any parents out there, they're like, we love Miss Rachel. She's the fucking best. When you watch it through a content creation lens, something changes on the screen every 3 seconds. And if you watch a Mr. Beast video, it's the same. And that's his metric. It's 3 to 5 seconds. Something has to happen on the screen.
Wow.
So it's like a color changes, an outfit changes. It's a different person. Something goes on. And, like, he's just fucking... what is happening in front of my face? Don't ever turn this off.
Wow.
It's amazing. And then I found like old Wiggles videos, and it's like 5 dudes standing on a screen, just fucking stationary, just doing the thing. And I bet her popularity on YouTube is infinitely higher than the Wiggles. But I'm just watching it being like, how are you fucking with this to make it work?
Yeah.
And it's like she's literally just like YouTube algoed infants. It's wild. So it's the same. Like I watched a Mr. Beast video and he'll say like, at the end of the video, we're going to like, you're a dog.
Got me.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the next 15 minutes. Just tell me
Yeah,
what
Will
happens.
Tennyson's good at that as well. Like there will be changes very often. Like that's interesting though. I wonder like what in your brain is the 3-second thing. Like they've obviously spoken to some sort of neurologist to work out an intention span.
I know Mr. Beast just tested it.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fucking wild boy.
It's unreal.
Wild boy.
So cool.
Yeah, I think it's 3 to 5. Drive to Survive does it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that one's so good?
I watched
or
the
is
most.
it because it's Formula One?
Well, so that's why you don't get on your phone.
Huh.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
it's changing enough that you're stimulated enough that you're not like, I need to check Instagram.
I found the latest season I was on my phone more. Did you find that though?
Don't know.
Yeah, I found it. I wasn't as like, whoa, this is the most incredible sports documentary of all
Probably
time.
not because I'm like, anything Formula One related is like me and Amy time.
Yep.
So I'm probably
On.
away from that anyway. But yeah, watching this season, I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Bang.
change. 1, 2, 3, change. I was like, these motherfuckers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've even heard of Netflix turning away shows because you either need to be that end of the spectrum where it's so stimulating that you can't look away, or you have to be understimulating enough that I want it on in the background while I'm on my phone. And they call it second screen. So
that's fucking nuts that they've got like sayings for that.
So Netflix will turn a show away and say it's not second screen enough. So it's like too engaging.
What the fuck qualifies as too engaging?
Wild.
Damn.
So like, say, what's a good example? Say Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You can't second screen Game of Thrones.
No.
Because it'll break your fucking... If you miss 10 minutes,
except for the
you're
last
like,
season. It's terrible.
Well, just don't watch that. Ever. But if you miss 10 minutes, even like early Vikings, it's like you miss the whole plot thing that's going on. You're like, oh, fuck. Suits is the best example. Because seasons 1 to 3, before he goes to prison, are fire.
Yeah, amazing.
Something happening all the time. Harvey's dropping bombs all the time. I'd love to check the dates to see when like smartphones happen, because it feels like
after that point
it becomes a second screen show from there. So you can watch Suits without watching it and still know what's happening.
It's like Walking Dead after the 3rd season. It's like,
yeah,
that's really weird.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think you'll ever get into a realm of like conversation and stuff? We'll get to that point where you're just like talking for 3 seconds and you're like, that's boring.
It happens now, man.
Yeah.
I see it heaps.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we've come that far and there's sayings for those sort of things.
I actually find I've never been amazing at like small talk stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But I find it really challenging now because most of the conversations I have are longer form, in-depth conversations. And like when you're on a podcast in particular, if you don't listen, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So when you have like a little conversation, like you didn't listen to anything I fucking said. I'm just like, ejecto cedo calculators. Like I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
What sort of impact do you think? I mean, obviously it has a massive impact on what we do with PT, like because we now need, because what is it? The first 3 seconds has to be engaging then in content, essentially.
Yeah, in content,
which is obviously the hook and things like that.
Yeah.
But then, wow, okay. Because then it's like that's a generational thing. So it's like if you're going to be attracting that level of generation, not so much the previous one.
Yeah, so if you want to work with younger people, I would imagine your stimulus would have to be much higher.
Yeah. Because I always ask this with younger PTs, like, what are you getting any business from TikTok? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, we get none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah. And ours move. Like Tam will do fucking B-roll to couch to your chair to my chair to back and forwards to Zoom to text change. And that all happens on, I don't know if it does on purpose, but it seems to be inside that 3 to 5 second window all the time.
Yeah.
To keep you, the screen's moving. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a video. I think I get that when I edit. It's like a videographer sort of like just shift. It's like a feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that, Tam, where like you go, there needs to be a cut here. It's like a feeling rather than like actually a time. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But it's just such a crazy world that with the fact that we have to do all this shit as PTs. And I put up a post and I said, thank you.
After we've just spent an hour on like, just start really low. It's fine.
It's
now we're like, this is what Mr. Beast does.
Yeah, but then now it's like, I thank my clients for making me feel like a PT. Yeah. Rather than a fucking content creator. Because like I spend more time in front of a computer than I do coaching people. Yeah. Which is fucking nuts. Because it's like, I got into this industry to be training people. Yeah. And now I'm just talking to a fucking camera about training people more than training people. Yeah. I understand that, you have that horrible feeling sometimes. You're like, I just want to do more coaching. Like, and you're like, I have to do this social media shit. It's like, I can see, after talking about that today, you can see how you can get stuck of like not doing anything. Yeah. Yeah. Because it is so overwhelming. Because there feels like there is an unlimited amount of things to do. But what I can say is all I say in my journal is post 6 times. It doesn't have to be this reel has to be this has to be that has to be that. All I can say is like, obviously we were talking about Mr. Beast and all that, is like simplify everything to what you can currently do. And then you'll find that over time, the goalposts will just keep moving. Because when I'm creating stuff now and, attracting all different clients, it doesn't feel like I've told myself that should happen. Yeah. It's just happened. Yeah. And that started with filming on my phone, fucking calling people, DMs, it's the basics of that. Yeah. And then now it's like, okay, it's this become this organism that just does itself. But yeah. And you'll still get better with that low input as well. Do you think that those basics will ever change? No. What they are, maybe. Like, they'll be like telepathic. Like I beamed like 5 people. Already, I would so we're selling memberships for you, Strong. Yep. So we've been told in the past to make 15 calls per lead to get them to answer. And I'm like, we're not doing that. What would one person you call 15 times? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if you get a lead, they're not dead until you've called them 15 times. Interesting. I'm not answering my phone. Send me a text message. Yep. Like, so now it's like 2 with a text. Yep. So now you need to be better at the text. Yep. That has to be good. So I think I would still tell a personal trainer to do the 2 dials and then text message. Yep. But it'll shift, I think. Yeah, I found I don't even... No one under 30 answers their phone. Yeah, like I don't even bother calling now. I just text and, and most of the time it's really weird. Like you might send out like a wave of text flares and you get a few, and then 6 months later you get the rest of them.
A random, yeah,
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I just opened my phone after 6 months, and all of a sudden, and just thought, oh, PT. So all I can say is like you don't know when that wave's going to come, but the fact is of like just get started. Start with 3 or 5 a day, and build that confidence to, well, really just get used to hearing no.
The amount of times I've opened inquiries of people that have left Beyond Scene is wild. Like,
it's bizarre.
Even if it's thanks for the follow, or like you get a couple of messages in, you're like, oh, how's training, blah, blah, and they just disappear.
Yep.
And then, 6 months later, like,
I had a
fucking, I
had a person like I messaged them, and I think they followed me, and then I messaged them after, and no reply. This was months. And then they messaged me and blast me. Oh, thanks for the unfollow. I'm like, where? What? I gave you the fucking time to reply, and then all of a sudden I'm the bad person after not like replying.
Hilarious.
I'm like, Jesus, fucking hell.
Is there still apps that you can see who unfollows you? There must be, hey.
I don't know. I don't want to know. That's like almost knowing someone's thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's bad for your mental health, man.
It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't.
But like, how does that person know? Did they go onto your profile, go into your following list, and be like, oh,
they have to.
He doesn't follow me anymore.
They'd have to.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
Fuck.
So
the good old days, man. There was this app. So bad. There was an app. We are 17 seconds, Tam. It's going to beep. You could go into a profile, load all of their followers, bulk follow them, up to 150 a day, and then unfollow specifically people who don't follow you.
Wow.
So we built 3,000 followers in 6
interesting.
months. Just follow for follow. But you could literally go in a month later, be like, cool. We used to do like all the follows Monday and unfollows Friday.
Yep.
And now you get like,
there's
the whole shadow ban thing.
Yeah, you're a robot.
It gets you.
Yeah. I mean, just to obviously sign off, and obviously a huge plug for Ben and Jason and Jess and Tam and Michael and who all run STC. It's like, if you're a PT and, you are in a point where you have a steady sort of book, but you don't know what's next, I can't say this enough, but please just message Ben or Jason or whoever, or Jess, and get onto STC. Literally 4 times my business. It got me to a point where I am confident and happy with content and everything else. I have great friendship with Ben and obviously the whole team. All I can say is like, don't look at it from a monetary point at the start. Just look at it, the value that they're giving you, because it will fucking revolutionize your business and also your life as well. Like I cannot thank you guys enough.
Thanks, bro.
It's I think about it all the time. Like, I was so close to not going through with that call, and I don't think I would have got here without that. It's something. PT is a very, very challenging career. People think you're just counting sets and reps. It's really not, because you have to deal with the human condition, which is horrible. Because and especially with something that is not a tangible sale, you cannot show them, oh, this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I can promise you get if you do the result. So having someone on your team to tell you what to do, the thing, and from these guys and the experience and the businesses that they're still growing, having a mentor with anything that you're doing is vital. I say again, I wouldn't have got here without you guys.
Thanks, man. That was unpaid, by the way. Unprompted.
Yeah, I'm not a paid actor.
Thanks, man. That's really, really cool. And that's why we do it, right? That's why we do the whole mentoring thing.
Yeah, it's the now from me doing workshops and passing on the small amount of information I know to other PTs and my clients, the value and the feeling that you get when you see people getting better than you is fucking awesome. And I say that to the people who I want to, when I'm employing people, I said to my goal is to make you better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's mission accomplished. Like for me, if you're 4 times in what I've got up to and in half the time, that's what I want. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want to see that, because then it goes, okay, that's the proof that I'm able to help more people. So, and that's what you've done with me and, continue to do as well, which is, something that is just so special. I can't put it into, sometimes I can't put it into words like how grateful I am, because it's just, for me, I never thought I'd ever get here. Ever.
That's sick.
I was always through school taught like, I've got a learning disability and all this other fucking crap that they feed you. Never thought that I would be in this position ever.
Yeah.
And for me, I just have to pinch myself that I'm actually, if I told myself fucking 10 years ago what I'm doing right now, that person would probably die. And it's thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and straight back as well, like, coaching PTs through stuff that they don't know they don't need is really hard. And that's a lot of standout is like convincing you have a problem you don't even need and then solving it. Because it's like so many people just fly by without knowing a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
And that it is even holding them back. So, yeah, I think seeing the success stories that come out of it, it's like it's worth showing up every single time.
Yep.
It's worth doing the content, refining the workshops.
Yep.
Like, yeah, showing up every week and doing it is seeing people who didn't think they could do it.
Yep.
It's fucking awesome.
And also a quick note is like, this all didn't happen just me simply listening to Ben and Jason. I woke up at 4:00 every morning and I did all the coursework before all the calls. I read all the coursework within 2 weeks. I did all the short courses. I continued to manage it. I put absolutely fucking every single step that they told me to do into practice instantaneously. Like, just rocking up isn't good enough. If you want to get the result, maybe, whatever you're looking up to, you still need to do the work. It's not just like, oh, I've got a mentor, so things are going to happen.
Yeah, the difference between 2X and 4X.
Yeah, so it's, you need to map out the plan and go, no, I trust everything here I value it so much that I'm willing to sacrifice X, Y, Z of time to get there. And that's, what me and Liana have done. Like, we don't do anything else.
Yeah.
It's may look like we've got a lot going on in our life, but honestly, it's all conducive to pursuing the business side of things, our physical demands as athletes. That's all we do.
Yeah.
And we've sacrificed everything. We've sacrificed other social interaction and other things. So don't think that you can have it all, because everything has a trade-off. Yeah. So if like you want to make it as a fucking PT that is, a cure to everyone's problems, then, well, you need to put in the work. And that's, what Ben and Jason and Jess taught me. But, you need to make sure that you've allocated the trade-off. There has to be a trade-off in time.
Yeah.
Because or else you're just going to get flunked down and, book a trip to Europe and think that your business is going to grow. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for stepping in.
Pleasure.
We'll definitely have you back, especially going to say things like that.
Just slide the money over.
All right. Thanks, guys. So don't forget, jump on to check out Grounded Strength. You can find them on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. YouTube channel is very good.
Oh, thank you.
Adrian's very talented behind the editing screen. And the content's good. So jump on it, give them like, follow, share this episode, like, comment, follow, do all the things that make the algorithm happy to put us in front of more people.
Absolutely.
Please and thank you.
They deserve all of it.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.